Well, I'm here in Cambridge and I'm standing here in the middle of the floodwater. I'm only a few feet off the road and it's already up past my calves.
Well, nearly 48 hours has passed since this plane up in this tree crashed. Actually, it's still hanging on up there. Now, volunteer firefighter Randy Acker actually had to climb this tree in order to get the pilot safely to the ground.
It's intellectually and physically challenging, and keeps you on your toes. There's something called the Highway Avalanche Hazard Index. There's 3 highways in the United States rated very high, which is the top of the scale, and this is one of them.
You know, you want to train like you fight, so we try to put some fire on the ground because it's better to give them the whole experience versus a mock exercise.
Every one of our recruits have the desire of being wildland firefighters.
Year 1 of the Governor Brad Little administration is now in the books. The big issues were Medicaid expansion, education, the budget, and deregulation. Will the big issues be the same in year 2? They are still works in progress. Today, Governor Little looks back at the challenges and accomplishments of 2019 and forward at the challenges and priorities for 2020.
You know, what do we do next? What are the next steps? What do we do in licensing?
On Monday, Idaho Governor Brad Little and other governors joined President Trump at the White House to talk about deregulation. Trump had asked states to eliminate 2 rules for every new rule put on the books. In Little's first year as governor, Idaho has cut or simplified 75% of regulatory rules. Little says that eases a complicated and cumbersome burden on businesses.
And that's why we've really simplified our rules process.
All right, next.
Teacher Chelsea Fuller starts her first grade class at Notice Elementary with some work in the open floor space and some goal setting.
How are we going to improve our writing? Exactly.
Good guy, good husband, a good veteran from the Navy. There was a determination within me because I saw my brother-in-law's health decline. And when you see someone who is living dead in front of you, with gray and green skin and hollowed eyes.
You can actually see the kidney we're going to take out and put in her brother-in-law, which is his left kidney right here.
Dr. Stephen Potter is a transplant surgeon at Baylor Scott and White Medical Center in Temple, Texas.
This transplant's not just intended to boost his quality of life, it's going to add years to his life.
From the KCHS studios at Capitol High School.
Good Friday morning, Capitol. I'm Matthew Wright.
Matthew Wright was a young man of many interests and passions, such as doing the news and weather for the Capitol High School TV station.
We look at the northwest satellite image. Skies have cleared this morning, leaving us with mostly sunny skies later today.
It's part of the video production class there, the class for which Matthew produced this lip-sync music video.
We had a crew up in CSESH for a community meeting tonight, and because of all of this fire activity, this is their video tonight. They were told that it wasn't safe to head out, but Misty Inglet is on her way back. She's made it to McCall. She's there live now. Misty, you were so close to that fire tonight.
Oh, unbelievably close, Kim. It was quite the adventure tonight, and it's really a prime example of how fast the weather and the fire conditions are changing out there. That's really what led to us kind of being stuck on that road and not being able to head back tonight, is how quickly things are changing there. Let's take a look at some more video of the fire that we shot while we were there, and I'll kind of walk you through what happened today. Fire activity really picked up this afternoon, and it took off because of the hot temperatures and the winds. It really spurred that fire activity, and it spotted, meaning it kind of started a little subfire on Bergdorf French Creek Road, and that quickly grew to 100 acres of just that spot fire alone, burning along both sides of that road, which forced them to close that one. As a precaution, they had closed off part of Warren Wagon Road, and so we had to be escorted into CSESH to that meeting just as a precaution to make sure that we were all being safe. And on the way in, the road was perfectly fine. You could see the fire, but it was nowhere near the actual roadways. We went to the meeting at CSESH, and then on the way out around 7:20 or so, coming off of Warren Wagon Road, we just ran into a roadblock of fire. The flames were right up against the edge of the road. It was so close I could have just leaned over or stepped out of the car and touched it. Flames were on some parts, they were above the trees, they were tall, it was super hot. We were in just a shower of embers, and we were right in the midst of some of those firefighters. We could hear the hotshot crews communicating with each other, you know, yelling orders to protect the lines and get the lines back up, and there was just so much smoke Now, part of that is because they were doing some burnouts, and the crews had started a couple of smaller fires there to try and backburn some of that fire, and so that's part of why it was burning so close to Warren Wagon Road. But because the flames were so close, we were in the midst of the firefighters there, and so much smoke, it just wasn't safe for us to continue on that road, so they had us turn around and go back to CSESH. We waited about an hour and a half there, and then we were able to get through. The firefighters had to escort us for a little ways. We put on the hazard lights because it was so smoky, and they let us come through just very, very slowly, very cautiously. And we're finally able to get to McCall just a few minutes ago. And again, just really smoky, tall flames. It's quite the fire. Their priority is to really keep it from jumping Warren Wagon Road any further. Also, they want to protect that ranger station there in Bergdorf and Bergdorf Hot Springs.
Candid, never before heard comments from the parents of baby Dior, who rarely talk to the media, but after 4 years have so much to say. I'm Kim Fields, and this is a KTVB exclusive, the search for Dior Coons Jr.
What's the address of your emergency? I'm actually camping in Ledor, just outside of Ledor. My 2-year-old son, we can't find him.
4 years later, still no answers. Not a trace of baby Dior.
The worst nightmare a parent could ever go through, really.
Just want my boy. I just want my boy.
In a KTVB exclusive, Dior Coons Jr.'s parents confront the accusations head on. What is it like to be accused of murdering your son?
It's sickening. It is sickening how quickly people will turn.
And all the rumors surrounding the investigation.
Were you offered immunity? Yes, I was.
There's been rumors of drinking or drugs, and there was none of that.
How, after 4 years, there could finally be a break in the case.
It's finally, it feels like, okay, we're starting to move forward on this and get to the real facts and truth about this.
And why the parents seem so confident the case will be solved, and soon.
Just bear with me. I promise I'll be able to prove my son's mother's innocence and be able to give everybody answers soon enough.
Adam Hopkins met us at the Nampa police station.
So this is actually the event in question.
To tell us what happened last week.
I got a notification that the package was dropped off, and then I got another notification when I was about 10 minutes away, and I thought, man, wouldn't it be crazy if it was someone taking the package off of a porch, and as soon as I pulled it up, it was someone pulling into the driveway, taking the package.
He could see it in real time on his cell phone because he uses a doorbell floodlight cam made by Ring. Patrol Officer Chris Orvis says more and more people are getting these types of security devices and catching people in the act.
When it comes to surrogacy, you might think of Hollywood celebrities, but it's a booming business in Boise.
You know, there's other states that are really busy too, like California, things like that. But I think intending parents are attracted to Boise. We have a lot of healthy surrogates. The costs are lower, which doesn't, even though the costs are lower, it doesn't affect the quality. I think we have a lot of genuine women who care about others, who want to help.
My name is Cameron Earl Tulloch, and I'm 7 years old.
This little guy has a huge heart for the homeless. Just ask his mom and dad.
When we're driving around, we see people holding the signs up. He always wants to give them something. He wants to talk to them.
I was noticing a few people's signs.
I honestly don't have the words. He's very caring, very gentle, very unselfish. He's an amazing kid.
Cameron Tulloch.
It just makes my heart feel good.
7-0.
Idaho has beautiful, remote areas to explore. Many of us depend on a global positioning system or GPS to reach them.
Getting directions to Grimes Creek Road.
We have so many routes. This is one of hundreds of routes that is on a GPS, but it's not passable by a vehicle in the winter.
Boise County Sheriff Jim Kazmark took us down Grimes Creek Road. We stopped the truck before the road got difficult.
Here's a good example of somebody who's gone through the maintenance, so you don't know if they've got stuck back here or not.
This race draws in competitors from all across the country. This year there are 13 teams from Oregon, Montana, Utah, Washington, Michigan, Alaska, even from Canada and Nova Scotia, and most are here with one goal in mind: to move on to the next big race.
Every day we are bombarded by headlines showcasing the drastic changes that us humans are doing to Mother Nature.
Spirited.
Natural laws say that we should nurture and respect and take care of our relatives. Today, start thinking of the earth as the most annoying little sister you've ever had, but still love her dearly.
Passionate.
This is serious! This is the fight for our future!
And vocal. Hundreds of students from across the Treasure Valley left school Friday afternoon to hold a climate strike. They're rallying as part of a nationwide movement, demanding a Green New Deal and climate action.
Hydrophobic. Phobic, yep.
These students are from Park Ridge Elementary School in Nampa.
I'm trying to put this on.
The fifth graders are fully engaged here, learning science, technology, engineering, and math.
All of science is test, retest, test again. One more time, try it.
This classroom belongs to Courtney Taylor.
Today we were working on Newton's 3 laws of motion and going through each of those and explaining what inertia is, how force works using mass times acceleration.
We're in the parking lot of the Payette Brewing Company. This is the meeting place of the Boise Bike Tours. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen them around town cruising, taking in the sights. Well, today we're going to meet the man who got the whole thing rolling.
I'm Sean Welsh. I'm the owner and creator of Boise Bicycle Tours.
Okay, Sean, so we've seen you taking people on tours all around town, but help us understand truly, what is Boise Bicycle Tours?
Boise Bicycle Tours is me and my wife Cindy's little bike tour company, and what we do is we give personal guided tours of Boise, Idaho. The best way I've always thought to go around Boise is a bicycle. That's our favorite thing to do, is ride our bikes around Boise, and I figured why not have a bicycle tour here.
Okay, and then you have multiple tours too, right? It's not just like one experience, but there's many that people can choose from.
Absolutely, we even have custom tours. Our most popular tour we call the Best of Boise Tour, and it is about 3.5 miles downtown.
The Boise foothills are a picture-perfect backdrop for a city often named as one of the best in America. And with 195 miles of trails, there is something for everyone.
Our goal is to provide a quality, seamless trail experience in the foothills.
But just like our roads, our trails are seeing more use, with an estimated 1 million visits in 2016.
And we've certainly gone up since then.
Hikers, runners, mountain bikers, dogs, kids, even equestrians are all using these trails.
Idaho is virtually surrounded by states that have legal marijuana in some form or another. So we traveled to Huntington, Oregon. That's the closest place to Boise where pot is being legally grown and sold, to get an inside look at this expanding industry.
Not many people knew much about pot.
Jim Spikerman grew his first pot plant more than 50 years ago.
Fast forward quite a few years and pot became legal.
But these aren't the only kids that benefit from the garden.
One of the neatest things about growing the garden is to see how excited the kids get with it all. We can get the freshest things because we can tell the kids, go out and get us 3 tomatoes.
I've never seen anything like this happen.
It was amazement that everything went as smooth as it was.
Just glad I was able to help.
Now, Randy Acker isn't done climbing this tree yet. He still has to do it one more time in order to actually get straps on the plane. That way the NTSB can take it away with the helicopter so they can continue their investigation as to what caused this crash.
Nampa has given me so much, everything actually. We want to be in this position. I raised my hand and I volunteered to do this, and I love my job.
For Nampa Fire Captain Frank Beauvais, being a firefighter isn't just his job, it's a huge part of who he is.
Our first responders see so much tragedy on the job that it's sometimes difficult to process. Captain Beauvais is one of many who have struggled with PTSI, post-traumatic stress injury. He went public with that struggle with the help of close friend and local photographer.
The powerful photos she took of him are inspiring first responders all over the country. Our Maggie O'Mara has the story of this local hero and how he's making a difference.
We
answer calls to people's worst day, and we just try to make it better. Come back to the station, rinse and repeat, and with that comes scars and stuff.